Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over on the YouTube account and there is a new code. Big shout out to Yoshi for popping that up. Now the code did give us, sorry for the minute delay on there, but the code did give us 10 Stargazer scrolls. We got 2,000 diamonds, 10 common scrolls, and then of course 10 faction scrolls. Overall, I hope there comes a point in time where these faction scrolls are going to yield us Awakened Heroes, but as of right now, that is not the case, unfortunately. We also do have Rising Sun, which this is 3 of 3. So unfortunately, which we did get another 300 chests, but we did also get 60 of our Arcane Staffs. Now that, unfortunately, is done with the Spring Spree. This is going to be the last one we're getting out of there. So again, unfortunately, that kind of ends that, but cool to see and very cool to get the new codes out of there. So as we're getting ready for the Awakened version of Lucius, a lot of things we really need to focus on being number one, the time emblems. Now, of course, there are an absolute multitude of ways to get these time emblems, which I kind of want to cover today. We want to go through, we want to finish out the Misty Valley. Drop any questions that you have right into the chat. And we're also looking again, Tuesday, we know we have 2 more days and the Awakened version of Lucius will be up. Very, very cool. Now, in addition, today is Super Bowl Sunday. Let me know in the chat exactly who you're rooting for and who is going to win the Super Bowl. I want to see who is going to be spot on with what they're thinking for the forecast for what the Super Bowl is going to look like. A lot of people are saying the Chiefs, including my son. What is going on? We have Carol here. Robbie is here as well. Primo and Sukik, Brian as well. Thank you guys for joining me. Had a nice weekend. Absolutely. We're still kind of cleaning up, getting everything done with our basement. But overall, did a lot yesterday. We had football, we had volleyball, and then, of course, a lot of shopping to do. Very set and very ready. We're going to a Super Bowl party in a couple hours, so it's going to be awesome to see. Now, overall, campaign-wise, we have continued to push progression within the campaign. Right now, we're on 57-28, and the reason being, now they are giving those chests out of campaign progression. So again, I know it is really a small thing, but getting those epic emblem chests out of here is going to make a big difference because it is the collection of everything that we get. Now, overall, they need to incorporate these into a lot of different game modes, which I'm hoping is going to be in the future. What is going on? Donovan and Darkblane and Jeff is here as well. I don't want either to win because the Chiefs already won last year. I know, I wanted to make sure, and I was hoping that our Detroit Lions would be in there. Unfortunately, maybe next year we will see it. But let's go ahead. Let's do some summons on here. Now, Solemn Vow, unfortunately for Tiny Floofy, been AFK for 5 days. So we're going to go ahead and terminate that relationship. So if someone does need a adventure or someone in the Solemn Vow, you can definitely hit that up. And also our friends list. Remember, 2 days are the requirement. So we have Neil, who has been off for 3 days, not even a guild on there. And then we also do have another individual right here, no guild, unfortunately, at that point. We're going to go ahead and delete those because they violated our 2-day avenue. So we got them out of there. What's going on? Pull the trigger. How many emblems do you need exactly to move from 40 to 50? 1360, I believe it is, Carol. So if you're going from a 40 to a 50, and I do not recommend by any means that we should go ahead and do that, that we should. It's kind of crazy because if you're going from a 40 to a 50, it is, I believe it was 1360, 1368. It was kind of crazy, but yes, it is super, super, super expensive to go from 40 to 50 because essentially what you can do is the combination of red chests and of course the epic emblems that we get right here. You can take 4 other heroes up to that plus 40, which makes a huge, huge difference. I would rather have, again, thinking of big picture AFK Arena, and I know a lot of players have said don't build Liberta to the plus 40. Liberta overall in game modes is doing about 2.5 billion more damage, going from a 30 to a 40. Now again, utility-wise, Liberta is used everywhere. When you start getting into the Cursed Realm, the Nightmare Corridor, when you start getting into the Treasure Scramble, the hero is used all over. Pretty much everything has Liberta, including some of the Twisted Realms. But again, when you're kind of breaking down here, getting some of those heroes and building them up much higher, even there's the Awakened version of Belinda, there's Trishia, and then of course there's Rem, and then I believe this last one might have Liberta in there. I'm not sure if any of these are going to be available as of yet, but this one actually is Leica and not Liberta. But overall, building a couple of those up to the plus 40 does make a really big difference. It's kind of crazy. When we look at like 1300, it is absolutely crazy. Can you help me find Baden's Witchfinder Moneymaker? So Baden's Witchfinder, for majority of heroes, it is the original version of Baden. So if you do have the original version of Baden, it is right within the story. It will actually appear right up here. A lot of players were kind of thrown off because of the skin on Baden. Now, in addition, you can go to the portraits, and I tried this actually on a different account. But you can go over to the portraits and you can go to Baden. You can go down here to the story and it will be the same. It will be right up there. What's going on? Terry Foster, a hippo supported to the channel very early in the stream. Thank you for supporting the channel. That is amazing to see those little hippos next to your name. I know Primo's got one, Brian's got one, a lot of players out there that do have and support the channel. And thank you for all the love and support for the channel. We are going on 38,000 subscribers, which is absolutely crazy. Yep, but this is the one where it is for Baden. It is in the top right, making sure that you're getting those because, of course, with the Witchfinder itself in the red chest that we're getting out of here, this one, again, early game, if you're building out Baden, absolutely go ahead and build, or excuse me, Damon, absolutely go ahead and build out Damon. If you're a little bit later game, if you do not have Palmer built, Palmer is going to be a priority. Just utility-wise, both of these still do have pretty good utility. If you have them built, then your choice, of course, is going to be Flora, not only to continue getting her and building her out because you can do exchanges with her, but overall, that is where you're going to find the value. In the tower she's used, in the stall team she's used, there's quite a few places where we still do see it. What's going on, D2? What do you think of Vathiel's SI40? Overall, silent or Slim Killer, I put out a guide a little bit ago. They're saying that Vathiel's E40 is not having quite the impact that it should or that it should have. Keeping him at a 30 works incredibly well. And again, Vathiel isn't used in a ton of different places. Even a lot of players, when you look at magical suppression and magical efficiency, not a huge game changer like players thought it would be. We're not seeing, again, as much damage kind of produced from this overall after testing on the test server, that we're not seeing as much utility in a couple different game modes. You think I should stop focusing on newer heroes and start upgrading older ones? SI40, engraving 80. Not really, Apollinaire. The thing is, you have to look at tier lists. And honestly, when you look at probably the SS in the S tier list, those probably top 30 heroes, newer heroes are stronger. That's it. Did I make a mistake making Athalia the SI40? Yes and no, Primo. So the thing with this and what is going on, Winnie is here as well. So the big thing with the Awakened version of Athalia, and this was addressed in the developer's notes. So with the Awakened version of Athalia, taking her to a plus 40 allows her to cleave, which cleave isn't the word. This is actually slash. So it will slash more often. Now, what we're seeing is in some cases, and this is where it kind of makes a big difference, Primo. In some cases, the plus 40 with the additional slash or additional 2 slashes are doing a lot of damage. It is ramping up Athalia's damage like it is supposed to. However, in some cases where she is in combination with some other heroes, this is having less damage effect because instead of going on and using her other skills, she is using this twice. It is essentially what's happening is it's messing up the rotation of the skills and abilities that are set. So again, they're going to have to tweak this. They're going to have to fine tune this, Primo, to make sure that it works, incredibly well. Hopefully the game gets more popular this year and you're going to reach 100K subs. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I love it, guys. And again, when it comes to the subs, when it comes to the support, when it comes to the YouTube AdSense, the revenue in here, I love making the videos. If that went away, I would still make the videos. I made the videos even when it wasn't there. This really supports my habit of AFK Arena and everything that we put in there. But it's cool. I love AFK Arena. And like I said, I will play this until it's done. Honestly, I will play this for a ton of time until it is done. Which collection would I prioritize for the +2? There's a couple guides out there, and just thinking, I have a guide actually that I can pop up over here. Now, this is a Reddit guide. +2 priority, who needs it? Demia needs it. Matria needs it. The Awakened version of Baden, they have Athalia in here. And then, of course, Ivan and Sophia looking at the +2 or the +2 priority collections. A lot of them need the +1. Some of them don't need either, which is kind of interesting. I have Belinda, Athalia, Brutus, Soulless, you have most of them, that the legend. Overall, I would wait. I would build probably the awakened version of Shamira, but with that being said, wait to see what the impact is going to be with Lucius. So overall, we don't know exactly if he is going to be a primary damage dealer, which again, kind of based on the hero in the build, it seems like he's going to be pretty solid when it comes to damage. Not as much defense utility as we see. But again, when you look at Cursed Realm Nightmare Corridor, I feel like he's going to pull a lot of damage. We'll, of course, get him and build him out on this account. But overall, pause at least for probably the next week, Legend, just for the fact of we want to see exactly where they're going to come in. What is going on? Zolthamus is here. Jordan as well. I just did third pull for Valkyrie, and I got my first copy. Very nice. Valkyrie, slow build. Again, effectiveness of this hero. It seems like PvP-wise, Valkyrie is going to be a hero that is going to be used in the Treasure Scramble. Already seeing her in teams, waiting for the incorporation in the Cursed Realm and the Nightmare Corridor. But that is why I say right off the bat, guys, wait and save it. Wait and see exactly where she falls. Don't rush to build heroes in AFK Arena, because a lot of times what's going to happen if you go out there and you build them early, they might be either one, very, very short-lived, or two, not really impactful in a lot of different game modes, meaning that you're going to have a hero that you built that you're not seeing a lot of really utility with. What is going on, Badal? And Andre is here as well. Yeah, and that's it. So the plus 40 can nerf the awakened version of Athalia Soul, and it depends on who she's running with. That is really the big thing. It depends. If her haste is too high, it can overwrite some of the other abilities in battle. Again, depending on who she is running with. What's going on, Major? Will we get the new awakened? Yes. We are saving all of our cards as of right now. We have 343 with the release of the hero plus the voyage plus the 50 that we get out of there. The discounted summons, we're going to be sitting on probably 400 plus time emblems, which is going to be really cool because yes, we are absolutely getting that. Habit of AFK Arena, it's nice to know, still playing after 5 years. Yeah, I love it, Winnie. This is a really, really cool game. And honestly, if the game's not fun for a lot of people, and I say this quite a bit, if the game is detrimental to your mental health, don't play AFK Arena. And again, as a content creator that, views are important. If by chance that this is detrimental, one, to your finances, don't play. Two, to your mental health, don't play. I don't recommend a game creating that much stress and anxiety that people are having mental breakdowns. It's insane to think. Let's hop in here. Let's knock out some of these summons. Now, of course, we did a summon midweek, so we're not going to have as many that we can do. There's a copy of Cirrus, and there is a couple rare heroes. Now, I also want to go through, and I do want to finish out that Misty Valley. We know this is right around the corner, so all of the heroes that got the fragment chest, you're going to be able to build and get another copy of these Awakened Heroes out of the event that is coming up pretty soon. Master's Choice tests out of here, of course. We are going in all in for our red cores out of here. Another 140. Now we got 2,500, so doing pretty good. Again, we need 4,500 to build out Lucius. And then, of course, with the elemental shards, we are good on those as well. Red chest, and again, depending on who we're building, we are pretty good on those. The tier stones we have. So we're ready to build him. Even looking at our elder tree where we're at, I am just leveling up and building out the tank tree. 165 right there, 198 on every tree. This one, I'm actually adding a couple levels to it every single pretty much week that we're adding a couple levels in there. But if you guys didn't check out the new code, definitely check out the new code. They just popped it up. I believe Yoshi popped it up a little bit earlier, which was awesome. I usually go for maxing Awakened Celestials and not the normal factions. It's the way to do it, Carol. So the big thing between those is when you look at the regular 4 primary factions and the Awakened Heroes carry a lot more weight. That is the reason why I think we have 6 Awakened Heroes, which are the S+ priority, really the biggest priority in AFK Arena, because of the methodology behind why they're built. Yeah, it's exactly. D2, there we go. So there is the code. We popped it up a little bit earlier. Thank you, D2, for putting that up. Yeah, Liberta SI40 is nice. It does a lot more damage. That's one of the big things. You just accepted. Oh, very cool, Matthew. Like I said, with our friends request, we go through here and it is first come, first serve for everything. When it comes to the tier list, guys, I don't discriminate. It is first come, first serve for who is joining the friend setting. If anyone is looking for the Solemn Vow, like I said, this is open as well. As many times as I've done it, we're going to continue going through there. Is this game still pay to play as ever? Not really. When you look at pay to play, and you can kind of take that HK with a grain of salt, the reason being you have to be okay with where you're placed within the game. So what I mean by that is essentially, is it pay to play as ever? It depends where you want to be competitive. If you're coming in here and you don't put money into AFK Arena, or you don't put money into any game, this game is going to be very, very enjoyable. If you're not putting money into AFK Arena, just because the game itself is a really well built out game. Definitely not an AFK game by any means, but you have to be okay where, okay, well, let's say for instance, you're coming in here and you want to be the top 1% in every aspect of AFK Arena. The 1% in AFK Arena is going to come with a price tag, period. If you want to be in the top 20%, yep, you can definitely do the top 20% even as free to play, but you have to be okay exactly where you're going to land depending on what you put in here. Oh, they must be same class. We'll grab these. I thought it said of a different class. We'll go ahead. We'll put our warriors in here and we'll go ahead and finish this out. What is the best collection for Athalia? All attack and HP. Yeah, the attack is really the big thing. The more damage, Michael, that you can put out with the awakened version of Athalia, the better. The higher that you build her. Level 2, level 3, yes, both of them, again, kind of resorting to some of the guides that we have. When it comes to the awakened version of Athalia, I don't think she needs the big pluses in there, but looking at using Saurus's collection, again, the more stats that you're adding on the hero, the better. You really want to focus on the stats. So adding a lot more attack in there. If you get one of the plus ones in there naturally, I would probably use it, but I wouldn't go in there and build it up to a +3. Not a huge adjustment. Is Lilith going to make adjustments to heroes? SI 40? Yes, they are, Zoltimus. So they said over when it came to the, I think it was the developers, this is what, Scarlet and Valoris, there are quite a few changes that are coming. So usually over the next couple ones, who did we have? It was Valoris and Scarlet, I think, if I remember correctly. But overall, there's going to be some changes. There are absolutely going to be changes coming to AFK Arena, which, yeah, that's Valoris. I always get Valoris mixed up with the other hero, with Kayleen. I always get those two kind of confused. Yeah, there are going to be some adjustments. I'm hoping that Zoltimus, that they reduce the cost. That is going to be one of the biggest game changers, is if they come and they reduce the cost of building heroes. That, again, can be probably one of the absolute biggest game changers, is if that's reduced. I have 1 copy of Demia, 3 copies of Lucilla. Should I build Demia? I would probably do Demia. As much as I love it, there's a lot of formations where Demia is being used, where Lucilla is not. And Lucilla is another one that works incredibly well, but can also be substituted. That's one of the big things, where Demia's survivability is the best in slot because of the survivability with her ability that she has. Lucilla can be replaced. Yeah, I would go in. And again, priority heroes, Liberta, building out Demia and building out Lavatoon, win with 5 different factions. This is the different faction one. But again, looking at a couple different things, yeah, it makes a really, really big difference. And when you go in there, building out those 3 are huge. What is the build for Lavatoon? Lavatoon, you want to build them out, pull the trigger. It is very, very high. What was your damage on the last AE? I believe, Truce, we were about 2.3. I think 2.3 trillion is where I ended. Overall, as a guild with Adventure Run, we ended at 15th. So we did incredibly well within there. It was about and again, kind of just recalling, I think it was around 2.3 trillion is where we ended in the Abyssal Expedition. So again, we did well. Honestly, I'm very, very happy and very impressed with how well the coordination went. And the big thing with, especially being with Adventure Run, is there was no drama. Coming from casuals, you know, Kilby Ross, a couple other guilds that they were kind of in conjunction with and worked with, there was a lot, and ultimately that's what led to the casuals disbanding, was a lot of the drama that came from a bunch of different places. And honestly, I live a entirely drama-free life. I don't want any part of that. And it got kind of crazy. That's why a lot of the guild fell apart, went to different guilds. It was kind of crazy, but completely, absolutely drama free. Most pay to play game modes is Treasure Scramble. Yes. And that's because it's PvP. Guys, any title that you play, when you look at Raid, when you look at AFK Arena, when you look at anything, it is the very, very big thing with PvP. Players will spend a absorbent amount of money on PvP and building out heroes for PvP. It is probably one of the absolute most expensive game modes in any game that I have seen is the PvP aspect. What is the best way to beat a hero that is spam, blocked, or immune? Most of them, you just have to take time. So if they're immune, like the Awakened version, or excuse me, the Ulna, you have to wait the timer. When you look at the immunity of Tresnar, when you look at a couple immunities, the immunities aren't going anywhere. This one, we have Salakai and we have Althus. Now, both of those, of course, we do run. Salakai, very good when it comes to the Mauler Tower. And then, of course, our new tank. I am impressed with Althus overall. Very, very cool to see. What's going on, Alfred Us? Hi, good day to all. Thank you for joining us. We need Hendrik Ascended or Gwen. Yes, I would love to see both of those. Will you summon Awakened version of the Awakened version of Lucius? Absolutely. Yes, I will, Alfred Us. When he comes up on Tuesday, I'm going to get up a little bit earlier like I do some days, and we are going to do our summons the morning that he drops. Again, kind of like what we did in the past. Absolutely. Cost reduction would be nice. Yeah, and that's it, Zolthamus. That's what I really feel that we need is if they're not going to add more resources, going in there and reducing the cost. Now that we have resources from events split, 5 different ways, they either need to, 1, up the resources, or 2, reduce the cost. Honestly, I probably think the easiest way just from kind of a Lilith AFK Arena standard would be just increase some of the resources going forward. Probably would make it a lot easier. What is more of a priority, building Lucilla or Lavatoon? Lavatoon. Absolutely, Hoss. I would go in there with Lavatoon before Lucilla, like we were saying a little bit earlier. Lucilla is a very, very good hero, but can be replaced in a couple different avenues. Lavatoon has to be in formations and has to be built out without any tank or ranger. These, of course, come in pretty easy if we have no tank or ranger. We'll just go warrior. We'll do the exact same, no tank or ranger in there. Yeah, I would definitely build out Lavatoon. I have about 200 time coins. I already have all the Awakened heroes except for the new Awakened Celestial maxed out. Should I save it? Honestly, Peter, depends where Lucius comes in. That's going to be the big thing, is seeing exactly where the new hero is going to come in, because you can really play it one of two ways. Is the way that you're getting time emblems right now, it might take an incredible amount of time to get up to that 400 to 500, which we recommend before going in there. Yeah, but we're, again, you could save them, but we have to see the impact of what the new hero is. We don't know where Lucius is going to come in, if he's going to come in, if he's going to be kind of an easy hero to sub with other formations. There's a ton of stuff that we're waiting. My damage was at 2.2 trillion. We finished at 11th. Yeah, like I said, my personal damage, I believe, was 2.3. I think it was around 2.3 trillion. So a little bit more damage than or just slightly less damage than what I did. But overall, yeah, we came in at 15th overall. Celestial, Hypo, and then I think back row was what? Rangers? We can do back row Rangers. Let's do, what do we got? Celestial Rangers. Let's see. There we go. So backline Rangers, let's see what we have for Rangers here. There we go. We'll go ahead and put another one in there. That'll work. Awaken Titus. Yeah, I want to see Nemitsu. I knowing that we have the Awakened version of Lucius, I would love to see that Awakened version of Nemitsu. I think that would be awesome. Let's go ahead and collect this, guys. Boom. There are so many resources in this game mode. It is absolutely crazy. Looking in here, we have all of our chests, all clean. So we'll go in, we'll collect up our final chest. And looking at here, so again, I know Marco was talking about this last time. I'm going to pull the red chest out of here because, again, mathematically, when we look, going from 32 to essentially 37 is going to use red chest, which again, mathematically looking at it, but look at the loot that we have in here. That is incredible with the amount of loot that we have out of this game mode. It is awesome. I'm building Liberta and he's mythic. Who should I build next? Honestly, yeah, Liberta is one you want to build. My hypos are very bad. Go to Lavatoon. Legend, after you build out Liberta and Liberta is done, you can build out Lavatoon. Lavatoon will do well, especially because you already have Lucretia. You'll get there. You'll get there. I love Aethys. He's my first. Yeah, he does well, guys. When it comes to this, I always build out the priority hero that we're looking for. We'll pick up another one. So even here, we're getting 1, 2, 3 heroes out of here, 10 more Stargazer Scrolls, which of course are going in for Valkyrie. We have some more tier 4 stones. So I love that they're continuing to buff this up and we're getting more heroes. We're getting more build out of there, which is awesome to see. I love that we have the ability to build these out. I ordered him. The order have a B. Not sure what you mean, Peter. Yeah, like I said, I would wait to see exactly where he comes in. I would love to see the devs remove the Duras fragments, arena tickets, and equipment upgrade. Yes. So that is one thing that we've actually talked about quite a bit, Brian. Again, over on Discord, we've had a lot of conversations about that, about going through and updating just some of the garbage in here. Just giving us the ability to clean out some of the garbage. Even looking at these regular fragments in here doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all with the release of collections. They could break this out a little bit more. Even looking at the Temple of Time again, the priority in here, they could streamline this, make it a little bit more better, especially arena tickets, things like that. Yes, we've talked about it. What's going on, Jaffa? Thank you for joining us. Yeah, like I said, they need to clean it up a lot. Quite a bit. They really do need to go in there and kind of mainstream it and clean it up a lot. Let's do our regular summons and then we'll get into the Stargazer. Then I think I might save my Pokecoins, but we have some beasts. And then of course we have some collections in here. A lot of stuff to do. I just got Misty Valley rewards and 140 Temple Rift floor. Yeah, absolutely, Kleck. When you're going in there, that is huge. Building out, and I believe at the Temple Rift, we are the same. I think I went in here and I built my 140 floors out already. This again has been kind of an easy game mode to go through, just based on the loot. But again, they didn't go in here and they didn't update. And unfortunately, the award selection, we don't have any of the staffs. Even looking here at this chest, that's kind of garbage. But even looking here, they didn't add stats or staffs in there. Now, one thing to note is they added this guy in here. Now, again, when you think about this, you're splitting your resources. And again, this is a lot of feedback to AFK Arena and to Lilith, is now we're spending 6,000 here to use your Badges of Valor to get that copy of Eugene. That means players that were building the Awakened version of Solus, players that were building Brutus, are not going to have the ability to pick those out. But in addition, looking down here, you're not going to be able to get all of the resources for your Stargazer Scrolls and your time emblems because you're building Eugene, which again, they're splitting our resources time and time and time again with different game modes. Even looking at the past, 2 events now, all of the resources have been pushed into Eugene. We didn't see, the buildup of getting your time emblem, or excuse me, getting your the elemental cores out of there, or the red chest, or your baits, because you were going in there and you were building out and buying Eugene over and over and over again. What is going on, Fox? Got 1 star in Demia. Demia is huge. Absolutely. Demia is huge. We can get him in 12 days. Not sure what you mean. Not sure what you mean about the 12 days. I ordered have Awakened Belinda, Athalia, Liberta, plus the 40. I'm thinking of going Rem. Yeah, Rem 40 is good. What's going on, Cerebral? Yeah, the plus 40 on Rem is the next one. Because if you look here, guys, if you remember, we built up Belinda's. We also did build out Athalia and we built out Liberta. I think at this point, I'm probably going to go in and build Rem because Rem is already at a 35. So this is going to make sense for me to go to a little bit higher with Rem, which I might build out in a little bit. But overall, let's finish out these summons. Yeah, Demia is huge. Guys, if you don't have Demia, similar to Liberta, similar to Lavatoon, they are big heroes. Are there new codes? Yes, the codes, they've been popping it up there a little bit. I know D2 and Yoshi, and I think Fleck put it in there as well. That is the new code, which actually popped up today. I had not even seen it. And again, Yoshi popped it up there a little bit earlier. Let's go ahead and do these summons. And we're just going to continue like we always do in here every single time that we're doing summons. Either we're going to get a hero that we're going to use, or we're just going to get more recycled material, which again, both of them I am okay with. I am happy with, because we're getting builds little by little. And there we go. Since we have him engraved, we can continue to add more stars on him, which again is going to be very important just based on the build. Then of course we have a chance every time to build and get an awakened hero. Unfortunately, we don't see one right there. But when you think of baseball and kind of the analogy, every time you're at bat, you have a chance to pull another hero. 2% is 2%. If you're pulling it 100 times, possibility of you're going to get one. I did my 101 run on the gallery, so I'm getting more free staffs. I don't know good bizarre totems. Oh, check out the guide. There's a guide out there, Vincent, on the bizarre totems. I can share it. Actually, let me see. Let me grab it. There is a couple different guides in here that do work incredibly well, and really the build out of who you need to build. That is a Reddit guide. If you go to it, that is a kind of who to build out when and which totems to use on which heroes. Kind of a build. You know when Awakened Lucius will be summonable? Tuesday. Tuesday it is going to be up. Patch notes will come tomorrow. So depending on your time zone might change a little bit, but tomorrow is going to be the patch notes. Tuesday morning, actually it updates here around 5 a.m., but 5 a.m. they will come up and it will be there. Are you going to play competitive in the next hunting fields? I want to. I thought about it, Truso, and the reason being, you know, we kind of streamlined a lot of the accounts, so I believe competitive hunting fields are going to make a big difference, and I would like to try it. You know what? If I go in there competitive and we don't do too well, it's a learning experience. If we go in there and we do incredibly well, then that is really cool to see. All right, guys, still looking for Valkyrie in here. Now, maybe we can get one or two more copies. I would love to see. And there we go. There's another copy. So that I believe is going to take us to Mythic right there. Now we do have two more pulls, maybe another copy, maybe some more. No, I was going to say maybe, oh, we have one more pull out of here. Maybe some diamonds. We haven't seen diamonds in a while, but unfortunately just some more resources. Again, Temple of Time we're saving with the discounted and everything else we have in there. I believe the team hunt, we can go ahead and hop in that team hunt real quick. This one, I just do the quick battle because we're already at 1 billion. And of course we are stacked when it comes to getting those copies of Eugene. Because if you look here right now, we have what, 6 days before our guild coins are going to expire. And then looking at our guild coins itself, right here, we do have 5 days. So I'll be able to summon the awakened version of Eugene, get that first copy, collect all the coins. Next day, get another copy, so on and so forth to really build them out. Now, Dream Store, of course, we're going in for some of these heroes. The store will go ahead and pick up everything, including the staff. I'm buying the staff out every single day, but we have 100 diamonds left, so nothing really there. I can help you. I finished 873. Oh, very, very cool, Truso. Yeah, anything that can help, super, super important. Yeah, I definitely want to try it. Is he worth pulling? We don't know yet, Kleck. So the big thing, when we have a new hero, especially when it comes to the Awakened Heroes, wait for the build. I have to stress that every single time. Wait about 7 to 10 days to see exactly where it's being. Because biggest fear is you're going to go in there, you're going to build a hero out that is expensive, like an Awakened hero. Then you're not going to end up using the hero, or the hero is going to be very, very short-lived. Now you have a hero that you're just using essentially for the tower, and you're not building it really any higher, which again, the cost in this game to build out heroes with resources and everything else makes a big difference. Now, of course, Valkyrie, we're going to go ahead and we're going to build out with the signature item. I'm going to take her to a 30. We have 7,000 of our primordial emblems, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, definitely going to make more progression. We have 4,000 of our amplifying emblems. Then I believe I'm sitting on 700 or 800 red chests because of all the free ones they gave us. There's 10. Let me see what we got. 976. So we have almost 1,000 right here. So again, I'm going to take Valkyrie to a 30. This is where we're going to leave Valkyrie. Again, just based on the build, Valkyrie is staying at a 30 as we see it till we get up to that ascended point. Now, Rem, like I was just thinking, we're going to go ahead and red chests are going to be the build that we're going to use in here. Now, 35, there's 36. There's 37. This is 38. Now, again, a lot of players are saying 38 is the debatable, that you can actually use either of these to build it up based on where you want to build it. But 39 is there, and we have a 40. There is our fourth plus 40 signature item. Now, we know getting the red chest, they gave us a ton, but at what point are we going to be able to take it a little bit higher? Definitely wanted to get there. Stressed out, he may be too crunchy and dies too fast. That's what the problem is. So, Sivu, the big thing with the awakened version of Lucius, like you're saying, crunchy and dies too fast. Oh, see you later, Artikai. Thank you for joining us for the stream. But overall with Lucius, the thing to remember with Lucius is when you're putting him in level deficiencies, he seems to die too quick. When you look at the Cursed Realm in the Nightmare Corridor, he isn't going to have the level deficiencies. They're at 360 and 360. So you're going to see a lot more damage out of Lucius, and the dying too fast is not going to be an issue because you're at the same level. The reason why we tested it, Sivu, is because of the high level deficiencies. When you start getting into like right here, I mean, we're looking at what, a 300, almost 400 level deficiency. This, in the case of Awakened Lucius, is going to get wrecked. Absolutely. Looking at a 400 deficiency. The only way that you get through this content as you see it right here today is going through here and crowd controlling. That is it. So when you look at Mahira, of course, going to be an absolute priority, but looking at even here, the Beguile ability, the crowd control aspect, even here, Thorn Cheese, is the only way that you're going to get through this content is the crowd control ability because the level deficiencies are so high. Short of this, again, it's going to be very interesting. And there we go, guys. Thorn Cheese, very first time. But when you look at Lucius, I feel like the campaign progression, the Awakened version of Lucius is going to get absolutely wrecked. When it comes to a lot of other game modes, especially the damage like the Cursed Realm, Nightmare Corridor, probably even Treasure Scramble, because again, Treasure Scramble, you're on the same level. He's going to be an absolute game changer in there. They should have made his shield give immunity. Yes, that's what he needs, Civ, if they're going to build him. Returning player, how long does it take to build an Awakened hero free to play? So free to play, Jamo, is about 4 to 5 months if you're building an Awakened hero completely free to play. I mean, there are a couple caveats to that, a couple different things, but going through, also depending on how many cards you get out of tower progression, things of that nature, but you're probably talking at least 3 to 4 months to build each one. And then, of course, you do need the resources to build them up a little bit higher. Mystic Star Zone, check out the videos. If you go through the guides, Gemo, you can go through, and I'm going to do it again for the Mystic Star Zone when it comes up, but there's a couple guides in there that you can definitely check out. What is the wish list recommended for new players? The 4 factions are pretty much the new heroes. That is really the big thing. To be honest, he looks OP. So again, the big thing, AFK Arena Enjoyer, the big thing with the Awakened version of Lucius is, again, when you get to level deficiencies, he's not working incredibly well because he dies pretty early. Again, if you combine the Awakened version of Lucius with some crowd control, you're going to increase the survivability. You're going to make him work. And that's where I want to see exactly where he is going to be. Is Awakened Sophia better than Leica? Right now, Leica's in a higher tier. Again, the Awakened version of Sophia can be replaced by a couple different heroes, Ada. But overall, I would build Leica before Sophia, but also depending on kind of where you're at. Thank you for the study guides through AFK Arena. Yeah, absolutely, guys. I love doing the guides. It is really, really cool. And a big shout out to all of the content creators, especially when it comes, Rakude, White Sushi back in the day, anyone who creates the visual guides, the AFK guys, it's huge. It is very, very massive to build and very difficult if you have ever tried it yourself to build visual guides for AFK Arena. The time consumption is insane, Kleck, when you're building out those guides. And again, big shout out to them in their entirety for putting those together. And I try to cover those because I want to get them more exposure. That's one of the very, very big things I want to do is if you're putting up on Reddit, if you're putting it up on Discord, most of the time it's very short-lived. We might see those guides up towards the top for probably 2 or 3 days. They slowly get sunk down. It's very hard to search for them. Where videos, if you go in there and you search on YouTube, we know YouTube, second largest search engine in the world. That is exactly what YouTube is, a search engine. You can usually find the videos that kind of correspond. And then also I put links to the guides down below so you can kind of connect the dots. Bookmark the guides. That is probably one of my biggest recommendations when it comes to AFK Arena. I have all of the guides bookmarked because, again, they can be incredibly hard to find. When does the Awakened Athalia become good? Big thing with the Awakened version of Athalia is stats. Like we've said before, when it comes to the Awakened heroes, not only unlocking all of the different parts of the hero themselves, but they are very, very dependent on stats. It's really stats. As a new player, 4 to 5 months doesn't sound as long as I thought it would take. And Dreaming Sophia, the big thing with that is, of course, progression. So that's really the big thing, is depending on where your progression is. Once you start going through the faction towers, it's pretty easy with the amount of time emblems that they give you, in addition to the summons, in addition to farming time emblems. A lot of that, again, thinking of 4 to 5 months in AFK Arena, it is very dependent on how much time and effort you're putting into that game mode, because it can make a very big difference in very, very quickly. Yeah, again, 4 to 5 months, it goes by pretty quick. Is it worth holding the chest? Overall, the unit, there's really two ways to look at this. And I like the difference between the two. So if you're hoarding all of the chests, so you're getting your red chest, you're getting your epic emblem chest, you're hoarding all of the chests, chances are you're going to hurt your progression. That's it. Just like if you're holding scrolls, if you're holding diamonds, if you're holding Stargazer cards, time emblems, if you're holding anything in AFK Arena, it can absolutely hurt your progression, because those are heroes that you could have built, and those are heroes that you could be using through a lot of different game modes. It's going to hurt progression. Now, you have to also take that with a grain of salt, knowing exactly what heroes to build and when to build it, because it's going to do the exact same thing and hurt progression if you're putting a ton of resources into heroes that are not being utilized or are not meta heroes. Now, for a lot of players, if you want to go ahead and just build whoever you want, sure. If there's a hero you love, and I know a lot of heroes or a lot of players absolutely love specific heroes, they built them out into their max in their entirety, great. That's exactly what it is. You can build out anyone that you want to, really to anywhere. But overall, building out the meta heroes, of course, are going to give you a lot more progression, a lot easier. Yeah, searching. Yeah, and that's it. So searching videos between Google and YouTube, it's pretty easy to find them. Can all artifacts in the Ghoulish Gallery go to level 3? Yes. Andres, they can all go to level 3. However, some of the artifacts have very, very minimal impact when you're taking them to level 3. And of course, on level 3, there's only a couple of heroes that do benefit from having those at level 3. There's a lot of places and a lot of times that they're not going to have, where if you're spending, your miracle worker, if you're spending your plus levels, if you're taking them to level 3, and then you put it on a hero that really doesn't need the level 3, it's not going to make a difference. It really doesn't make a difference on some heroes, where there are other heroes that it's an absolute game changer, like having a +3 Ghoulish Gallery or +3 collection on Demia. Makes a big difference, because you can't kill her, and then you can't kill the team that she works with or that she's on for the exact same reason. Again, some of them, depending on where you're at, is going to make a big difference. RK, bulking and pushing towers, easy mode. Yes. Resonating Crystal in that specific game mode. So when you look at campaign progression, and also when you look at pushing towers, Resonating Crystal is your absolute 100% best friend in the whole wide world, is because they are dependent on your levels. So again, when you look at campaign formations, when you look at tower progression, this is in its entirety going through here is based on your Resonating Crystal. The higher level you have in the Resonating Crystal, the better you're going to perform in all of those game modes, for the simple fact that it is based on where you are stat-wise. What do I think about the normal Athalia to SI40? I wouldn't do it. Maui Yoga, I wouldn't build her. Again, just utility-wise, I wouldn't build the original version of Athalia that high just because we're not seeing her used. I mean, short of the tower, I don't think there's anywhere else that we're seeing her actually used right now. So again, I would kind of wait to see exactly where and if the hero is going to be used, which again, power creep-wise, I wouldn't build it just because the damage isn't going to be there. So even if you take the original version of Athalia up to that 40, when you look at the combat rating, and this is the big thing, is the power creep of the combat rating goes just astronomical. When you look at here, so having a hero built out to a 40, we're at what, 8? Well, that's 8,044 million. Looking here, almost similar to the build, just missing the SI, 5,272 million or 5 billion there. That is the difference between the power creep of an old hero that is released years ago and the power creep of the new heroes that are kind of built right now. Unsure who to go next. Chimera, Sophia, Lucius would be helpful since I got 2 Awakened Lightbearers. Honestly, we know Chimera does incredibly well. Sophia does incredibly well. Those heroes are proven, but we don't know Lucius. But again, if you already have both of them built, so right here, if you have Belinda and Thane already built, yeah, you could definitely do Chimera would work well. Sophia would work well. Both of them, again, Chimera probably a little more than building out the other ones. Leica also does well. Again, there's like 6 Awakened heroes that do incredibly well in their own mode. And even when you start going through different game modes, all of the heroes are present in all of the places. Going through here, and again, just taking a quick look at the Awakened heroes. So right here, we have Baden, we have Matria. Right here, there is Brutus, right there running the top. Right there's the Awakened version of Belinda. In here, there's Chimera, there's Sophia. In here, we have Rem, but right there's the Awakened version of Athalia for the SP effect. And then, of course, looking at our final one here, even looking here, there's the Awakened version of Leica. They have so much utility as Awakened heroes. It's kind of crazy. But again, that is how they are built. And that is honestly the way and the methodology behind how they're built. What's going on, Poco Bear? But that's it. That's it. Awakened Leica or Lucius, we don't know. We don't know Jawa. So right now we know the Awakened version of Leica works incredibly well. Lucius, it is still incredibly too early. We have to give it probably about 7 to 10 days. See exactly where he's being used, if he's being used, what formations he's being used. It's going to take a little bit of time to get them really built out. What does Awakened Athalia need to carry mid-game? A signature item. That is one of the big things. Like I said, early game, the Awakened version of Athalia is about stats. So if you have the Awakened version of Athalia early game, if you're building out the signature item, that is going to make a massive, massive difference. After Liberta, who should I work on? That one guy, you have 2 choices. So after you have Liberta, it is either going to be Demia, which works incredibly well, or it is going to be Lavatoon. Those are really the 2 solid choices after Liberta because they both have so much utility in different game modes. Recommended First Awaken. Honestly, First Awaken, I would still go with Belinda. And the reason being, when you look at the Awakened version of Belinda is what you're doing early game. If you pull literally 1 copy, not only is she still in the SSS tier, so she is still an absolute top tier hero, but early game, you add in the SP effect. Now, of course, this SP effect, again, even very early game is going to work phenomenal because whatever heroes you're using as a carry, if you're running Damon and Ivan, it is going to make a huge difference just simply adding the SP effect. And really any Awakened hero, early game when you're running 1 comp, 1 formation is going to make a big difference because you're adding in this SP effect. Again, that is going to make a big difference in a lot of different game modes because you're adding in that effect on a lower built, essentially group of heroes, especially if you're only running like 1 or 2. This one, we go ahead and we sweep. Kind of going back and forth, but overall getting some resources out of there. And then I don't think I picked up everything from here. I love Fun in the Wild. I love Rowan's Duck, which there's 5,000 diamonds. You know what? We can do 1 more summon with that. This one, I'm just kind of waiting. Merchant Ship. We'll get some rewards out of here. And this is the collaboration of every day, getting more resources out of here. Boom, we get 25 red chests back right there. Althus, we get a little bit of a bonus because we took him up to 2 stars. Monthly cards, I recommend if you're buying anything monthly cards. Then, of course, the Champions of Espria, 6 red chests and 80 cores, which is awesome to see, as well as some Poke coins and some diamonds. We can do 2 more summons in there, I think. I think that gives us enough in here. No, 1 more. We'll go ahead. We'll knock out 1 more summon. Maybe, fingers crossed. Oh, no more resources. That's okay. Just resources. Love your channel since I started AFK. Oh, thank you, Kren. Does Awakened Sophia need engraving? Honestly, a little bit. And the reason being, Latan, is if you're not engraving them, if you don't engrave them, you're missing a big chunk of their abilities. That's really the big thing to remember, is if you're going in here and you're not building them out, and again, you're using the Awakened version of Sophia, if you don't do the engraving, you're missing a big part of their abilities. So the way that I kind of look at an Awakened hero is you have 4 buckets. This one, of course, is the signature item. This one is the furniture. This one is the engraving. If you do not have it built, you're missing one of the buckets, and every bucket is kind of 25% of their ability. And look at that, guys. Gifted 5 memberships. Big shout out to Brian for gifting all of those memberships. Congratulations. Thank you for all the love and support on the channel. And thank you to all of the new members that are joining us. Anyone in chat is eligible, which is awesome, as the duck event is the same as the climbers package. Yes, I love that. You know what? Let's go ahead in D2, since we're getting some absolute love in here. Let's go ahead and pick up some of these. Now, he was saying that these are close to the climbers pack. I think we have a little bit in here. And again, I think this might pop up that we can get this equivalent to the climbers pack, just what D2 said. A lot of players are saying this is one of the absolute biggest purchases. Look at the duck going nuts. I love it. So again, with the revenue generation from YouTube and everything else, congratulations to all of the members. Look at the diamonds right there. That is awesome to see. I love seeing the shiny diamonds in there. And again, this really feeds what we put into AFK Arena. A lot of what we put on here, and of course I preload them on gift cards. I have a spending budget on here that we actually really stick to with the budgeting aspect, but we'll put a little in here. If we earn a little more here, we can put a little more there. There's another 1,000 diamonds. And then of course we have the Alpinus pack. Might go over a little bit on our budget, but that's okay. And look at that, Gustav, we got a new subscriber to the channel. That is the first one for subbing. Let's go ahead and pick these up as well. Then we're going to build out, of course, we're looking for Melkery. All right, guys, so there's 96K diamonds. That's kind of insane, but very cool to see. 96K, let's do these summons and we'll rock it out for the end of this live stream with our last couple minutes. Before I forget though, let's do the gifting membership. I love gifting 1 membership every single time. That means 5, 6, 7 new memberships today, which is just absolutely crazy to think. 96,000. So let's see what we can do and what we can pull with our 96K gems here. Melkery, we need what? 4, 5, we need 6 copies. I think we can pull at least 2 or 3 out of here. I'm hoping with these builds, maybe we'll see some diamonds. Maybe we'll see some copies of Melkery and a double right there, guys. There is a double, which is awesome. I've all awakened but Sophia, Matria, and Gavas. I'm between Sophia. Honestly, out of those 2, I like Matria. They're both in the same ones. But there is our other gifting of the membership, which is awesome to see. And a double. So right there takes our Mythic to our Mythic Plus. Could we pull more in here, guys? Could we, with what we're getting out of here, pull some more copies of Melkery? Could we see another double? Come on, I want to see some back-to-back. I want to see a few more pulls in here. Come on, I want to see the diamonds. It's been, again, a little bit since we've seen those diamonds. But we still need 4 copies, and there is another one. That takes us to 3 more, which is awesome. What's going on, Jamil? Thanks for joining us. That takes us to 3 more copies, 51K left, and a lot of resources. I love seeing all the resources popping up out of here. Come on, we need some more copies. We're getting close. And they're going to make us do it all the way. Just another single pull right there. That gives us 2 more copies, which are close, guys. 2 more copies, 21K. Could we do it in 4 pulls? Maybe. Could we do it in 3 pulls? It's getting close. We have 2 more pulls here. And the final pull, could we get at least 1 more copy? Maybe the streamer's luck for our last copy, which we do not. But Stargazer, we have 3 more pulls. There's 1. There is 2. And the final one, could it be Valkyrie? It is. Just some more resources. That's okay, though. Like I said, getting there, I am okay with those. We have 1 more summon here, which is a pull. Could it be Naruko? I will take a copy of Naruko, absolutely. So we burned through all of our resources, all of our diamonds. But again, we got Valkyrie a lot closer to being completed, which is awesome. That way we'll be able to use her, be able to put some furniture on her. There's Mythic Plus, so we are, what, 2 copies away from building her up in the entirety. 2 copies, that is it. Might have already asked you this, but I can't remember what you said. Do you think they're going to do another swap event? So as of right now, Blue, so I don't think they're doing a swap event in the entirety of the hero, but they have said they are doing a swap event for signature items. For all of the players that built heroes out, they are doing a swap event for signature items. I don't know if that is going to apply for everything, but they are doing a swap event that is going to be up and coming for signature items. They said that in, I believe, the developer notes, that there is going to be a swap event. Now, the other question with that, Blue, is we don't know if it's going to be 1 hero or if they're going to allow us to swap multiple heroes. Because essentially, when you look at some of these heroes that you might not use, like Hendrik, taking from a plus 30 back to a plus 20, we're going to have to see if it's going to be a reset or if it is going to be a swap. I think they said a swap. And we also have our second new subscriber, guys. Robert, thank you for subbing to the channel. We're on our way to 38,000 subscribers, which is just absolutely crazy that we are making this much progression within YouTube. It's awesome to see. Honestly, it is amazing to me to see the progression that we've made on the channel, but also in this game. There we go. There are some more resources out of there. Now, we also get some summons when it comes out of the wishing ship. So right here, we're trying to get these, the custom mythic furniture scrolls. I'm always trying to get these. Let's go ahead and draw one, see if we get lucky, which we do not. We just get some more resources. But let's open all of those chests we got out of here, because we got a lot. We got a lot. Look at that. 16,000, 28,000. 28,000 essence is crazy with the amount of resources that we got out of here. Now here, of course, red chest. Then we're getting our time emblems. Red chests are our focus. Here, again, 5 more from our reward chest. Cores, and then we're getting shards. Building these out, a lot more resources. And then, of course, we can pop these. That's more levels, guys. Let's pop these open for our heroes. There's a Naru, copy of Peanut. Right there, we get Walker and Angelo, so nothing right there. And then again, all of these, we are just recycling. Anytime we get the rare heroes, even the duplicate heroes, we are just recycling them over and over and over again as we continue more resources. 4 more summons here, which again, those are just going to be recycled. Fingers crossed, could it be an awakened hero? Maybe we see him every now and then. It is Naura. So unfortunately, not an awakened hero. 13 more. Bring us back to Temple of Ascension. That's a lot more heroes built up. A lot more right there. Elite and our Elite Plus. Continuing with the recycling of all of those heroes. There we go. We're going to have to take this to 199 in our tree, which is going to be awesome. Now, in addition, if you remember the notes, they're talking about adding another Field of Stars. Don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but adding a Field of Stars, that is going to be around chests. So that is going to be around, and I'm assuming they're going to probably add it right up here or up here. But the new Field of Stars that they're talking about is going to be around red chest and, of course, the gray or the epic emblem chest. So we might have the ability to up some of our percentages or getting more chests out of the dailies and the weeklies. We're going to have to see exactly what that looks like. Why there are heroes recommend for beginners. Beginners, 2 biggest ones. Number 1, when it comes to the Wilder heroes, or excuse me, when it comes to Mauler heroes, right here. Naruko early game is broken because Naruko has Nadia. Nadia is essentially an extra tank that you have in there. Absolutely, Naruko is massive, massive hero. Early game that works incredibly well. When you get into the Wilders, you really have 2 that work very well. Number 1, of course, our new tank. Now, earlier game, like what you're looking at, he is a game changer because of crowd control. not only the survivability, he works incredibly well survivability, but when you look at the crowd control aspect that he brings, again, works very well in a lot of different game modes, building out early. Now, also looking at Orin. Now, I built Orin out early game on my last account. Orin works well, and Orin, unfortunately, the higher that you invest in him, the better he is going to do. Now, when you look overall, the way that you want to focus it early game is building out, number one, Damon. Damon will carry by himself, and I think he's here as the teddy bear. I usually don't put skins on him, even though I own them all. Damon is going to work exceptionally well early game. Then if you couple Damon with Ivan, you are going to carry. That is going to be your carry for pretty much 31 chapters. Sir Bellatu. Ivan combination with Damon, you always want to go in as Graveborn first. Graveborns are super strong, followed by Wilders once you get to a point. Again, working incredibly well within those two game modes. It does work super, super well. Now, what is it flagging me in here? Advanced ship. Oh, there we go. So we got 50 more out of there, which is awesome. Again, 2 more copies and we will have our animated avatar, which is exactly what we're looking for. Now, overall, events that are coming up, Star Zone, we're only a couple days off. Isle of Gold, this one I've gotten a lot of resources out of. Now, I really don't like attacking. You can see we definitely have to do this. But overall, looking at my resources, I've gotten 12,000 diamonds, 100,000 labyrinth tokens, 82,000 guild coins. Poke coins, I think they really crapped on us for poke coins. But overall, we've gotten 12,000 plus here. I mean, we're at 13,000 diamonds, which is kind of incredible. Even there's a little bit of resources. But overall, we can go through here. We can roll this a lot of times, build these up a little bit further. Again, the pillaging aspect in here, I don't like. I don't like to go through here. I don't like to pillage. Even though the resources can be a little bit, I probably should be pillaging. This is at what? I think 28 already. So we're getting there. What's going on, Nita? What is better, Skarath or Crescio? Crescio. So the big thing with Skarath is the 5 pull. Skarath, outside of the 5 pull, you're not going to use Skarath for anything. Unfortunately, it's at the point where Skarath is not going to have much utility in AFK Arena. And even then, the 5 pull is not really used anymore. There's going to be a point, but yeah, a lot of it is not really used anymore when it comes to that 5 pull. So unfortunately, I feel like we're at the point where Skarath, if there's not some new heroes released, you're not going to see a lot of utility in the hero itself. Honestly, we are in-game friends. If I ever have a question, can I message you? Yes, and I'll take that with a grain of salt. So the big thing is Legend. If you message me in game, 98% chance, maybe even 99% chance that I am not going to message you back. And I'll be honest with you guys, everyone in chat, if you message me in game, I would probably say 100% chance I'm not going to message you back. If you have specific questions, definitely hitting me up on Discord. I respond to the messages on Discord, or if you hop into the Discord, I will get the messages there. In-game, number one can be very, very super toxic when it comes to the in-game conversations. That is why most of the chat in-game, I don't open and I don't answer at all. With the chat that's in-game, yeah, I won't message you. If you message me on Discord, I will answer you, and I always do answer everyone on Discord, but overall, in-game, I probably won't. I'm super late. What's the deal? I don't know, Wayne. What's going on with you? We're almost done with our stream right here. Did a lot of summons, got some movement on Valkyrie, got her almost up to Ascended, which is awesome. We're going to continue to building her up. Waiting for the awakened version of Lucius. I'm going to farm up towers. Now, I recommend if you're looking for your Stargazer Scrolls, if you're looking for time emblems, build the towers and farm the towers nonstop. They are the absolute #1 biggest place that you are going to get resources, period. When it comes to getting red chests, when it comes to getting emblems, when it comes to getting cards, it is the #1 spot that you're going to get everything. And I wonder if we went to 7. You know what? We're going to sum it up with one more Stargazer pull. That's right. We have 10 more cards here. We have 3,800. Let's see. We need 2. We need 2 to Ascended. Could we get him? Could this be the pull that is going to pull the copy of Valkyrie? And it is not, but we got a card right there. Let's go ahead and burn some of these diamonds. I would love to see one more copy. And there's a copy. Very nice. Can we get one more? We need one for Ascended. We have, what, 5 pulls? Could we see a back-to-back pull in here? Could we get another one to finish out Valkyrie to Ascended? 2 more, and I love burning all the diamonds in here. Our final pull, fingers crossed. Could it be? It is not a copy. I was hoping maybe the luck would be with us, but that's okay because we're getting closer. We'll continue building them out. So we need 1 copy of Valkyrie to Ascended, 2 more to add that 1 star. We'll do up the engraving in there, of course, used in the treasure scramble a lot. So we burned through pretty much everything we had today. I got Liberta to 40, recommended what to do next. Athalia, Shamira, Belinda. I built Belinda. So Wayne, I built out the awakened version of Belinda. Even looking here at our combat rating, I built out the awakened version of Athalia. I built out Liberta. I built out, which 39 right here. You know what? Oh, I don't have enough. I'm going to have to save a couple more of those. We'll build Brutus to 40 just because I love Brutus. I have Belinda at 40, and then we also do have Rem, who we just brought to 40. We have a couple. And again, when you look at the plus 40 signature items, it is the damage dealers. That is really, that is really the big thing, Wayne, is the plus 40 is your damage dealers. Athalia will work, Shamira will work, Belinda will work, Rem will work. Absolutely. I just put out a guide. I just literally put out a guide probably about an hour and a half ago. That was over from Raku Day. Definitely check it out when it comes to the signature items. But all right, guys, so that is going to do it for our Sunday stream. Big shout out. It is Super Bowl Sunday. We have about 45 minutes to an hour. We're going over to Super Bowl parties. So I'm not going to be able to put anything else out tonight, but definitely check out the guides. Thank you guys for joining me for the live stream. It is an incredible amount of fun. I'm going to continue farming this through, but I want to get some more Stargazer scrolls out of here because with the Stargazer, essentially, I will have the ability to continue making progression and finishing out in its entirety the heroes that we're working on, especially with Valkyrie, getting her up to Ascended. You should try Raku, Atherius. Yeah, there's a couple. There's a couple out there that are pretty interesting. But again, guys, that is going to do it for Sunday's stream. Definitely check out the channel, all the love and support, all the new subscribers, all the new members to the channel. Very cool. So have a good weekend. Good luck in the Super Bowl. We'll have to see exactly what it looks like and who is going to win.